Are you sick and tired of being prescription for your life? Get ready for your daily dose of Healthy Talk Radio, the show that's empowering your health. And now, here's America's health and lifestyle coach.
Live. Do you want to get well? This is the show where your health is your wealth. Thriving is more important than just surviving, and the only thing lost are those unwanted pounds. This is Healthy Talk Radio, from heart disease, aches and pains, to even your basic cough and sneeze. This is talk radio that helps you get well, stay well, and live well. Phone lines are open, 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. It's a new prescription for a new you, America. Let's kick it off with Glenn. Hi, Glenn.
Recently discovered I had diabetes and dealing with some neuropathy problems and like a natural solution for it.
Yeah, diabetes, big issue. But, not, at the end of the day, the neuropathy is pretty common. It goes along with that. So vitamin B6, pyridoxine is the version of it. It works real well. And, again, that's in all the textbooks. You can check those out. A lot of research on it. It does great. So I don't know if you mentioned that to your doctor, but you can. Now, your fruits and vegetables are going to be really important, too, because you get tons of B vitamins, especially from the dark leafy greens. So that's going to be a big piece for you. Just a couple of things to think about. I would mention that to your doctor, though, whoever's working with you. But also your eating habits all the way around are going to be important, and your exercise habits, too. So the exercise habits that you form are going to be critical. I mean, literally. So 4 to 5 days a week, 30 minutes minimum. As long as you can handle that, that's a great way to go. Get a personal trainer, I think, for a short period of time. At least you can start learning the tricks of the trade in the gym setting. And they can get you outside the gym, too, which I hope that they do. But, yeah, coming up with a game plan that way is great all the way around. So hope that helps. 888-283-7272 phone number. And you can check us out online, getwellradio.com. Let's go to, who do we have next here? Let's go to Hank. Hi, Hank.
As we speak, my wife's sister is in the hospital. She had a hip replacement, but it seems that everybody that goes into the hospital gets pneumonia, and I'm wondering why that is. What is it being in the hospital that causes people to get pneumonia? Seems like it never gets any better.
Well, I mean, it just depends. I mean, you got to think about the hospital. A lot of people in there are sick. Of course, they've got every bug under the sun, even though they do everything in to keep the environment sterile as much as possible. There's still, people's immune systems are depressed, number one, because they're sick and they're ill and they're not doing well. So when your immune system goes down, your susceptibility to gain infections from bacteria or viruses or whatever goes up. So if you're hanging out in a contained environment where there's a lot of bacteria and viruses hanging out that normally wouldn't be out in the normal real world, that's why it becomes a challenge. So it's all about keeping the immune system strong and staying healthy. But, yeah, when you get in the hospital, definitely all of that increases. But it just depends on what you go to the hospital for. If you're already in there for an infection, your immune system's shot, and it's on the bottom of the floor, well, then your susceptibility to increase those infections does go up. So, once you get to the hospital, it's hard to beat that. But getting out of the hospital, once you start getting on your vitamin D levels, eating healthier foods, exercising, all of that builds up the immune system in a tremendous way. Hope that helps. All right, let's go to Brenda. Hi, Brenda.
Yes, my question is about safe use of oils. I've heard recently against fish oils, using preferably coconut oil. Big advocate of fish oils.
Yeah, I mean, the fish oils are great. I like them. I mean, I'm a huge fan of cod liver oil. You hear me talk about it all the time. Krill oil is good as well. And they're great for your omega-3 fats, highly absorbable, probably better than most other oils. But, again, the question is, if you're wanting to get well and you're wanting to come up with a new game plan for your health and for your life and really to be able to function at a better level, then it's about building a brand new lifestyle plan. And the fish oils are great, but also, things like coconut oil, like you mentioned. It's a great oil to cook with, great for the immune system, fantastic for an antifungal, and it's also great for the metabolism. So it helps burn body fat, it helps your body get into shape, just from a dietary perspective. And they've done studies with it, and they've gotten tremendous results just by using coconut oil. Butter's really good too. Actually, real butter can be quite helpful. So it's a couple things that you can start adding to your diet that can make a big, big difference. Our food for the day is avocado. One of my favorites. My little saying is an avocado a day keeps prostate issues away. Experts say that adding a little avocado to your diet can pack a big punch that outweighs the fat and the calories. So the avocados contain folate, potassium, and the monosaturated fats that are very high in fiber. The monosaturated fats that are in avocados contain oleic acid, which has been found to improve fat levels in the body and help control diabetes. By using avocados as their primary source of fat in the diet, diabetes sufferers can lower their triglycerides by up to 20%. That's a big deal. In addition to being helpful with those with diabetes, the monosaturated fats in avocados are great for lowering cholesterol, the bad cholesterol, the LDLs. And a low-fat diet containing avocados has been shown to help lower dangerous levels of those low-density lipoproteins, the LDLs, and raise the HDLs, those are the good guys, the high-density lipoproteins. In addition, triglycerides were also lowered slightly. The avocados are a huge source of fiber, containing 10 grams in only one avocado. As we all know, fiber is known to help prevent high blood pressure, heart disease, and certain types of cancer, particularly colon cancer. The avocados contain about 30% more potassium than bananas, and it's beneficial to the body in lowering the risk of blood pressure, heart attack, and cancer. So the folate in one avocado provides almost 30% of your daily recommended allowance. And so as you can see, I mean, you worried about getting the fat out of there and too much fat. It's actually good for you, by the way. So look for the Florida-grown avocados. They contain about 2/3 of the calories and half the fat of California-grown avocados. Also stick with those harvested between November and March, as they contain a third of the fat of those packed earlier in the season. So little tip, go for the Florida avocados more than the California ones if you're concerned about the fat. But the fat doesn't make you fat, folks. It actually helps you burn body fat. And the stuff's amazing. The more healthy fats you can get in, the better. They only have good benefits to the body. They're great for blocking DHT. They're great for supporting the prostate. I mean, phenomenal all the way around. So just something to think about. Avocados, one of my favorites. Avocado a day keeps prostate issues away. Let's go to Shelley now. Hi, Shelley.
My question is there a over-the-counter medication to substitute for cholesterol instead of prescription-wise, or is there over-the-counter that's something that I could use?
There's a lot of things over the counter. I mean, provided your doctor's okay with it, you want to talk to them. And, you know, the key is red yeast rice is really good. It's got great benefits in it. That's what a lot of the statin drugs base their research on, and how it kind of operates in the body. Niacin is really good too, vitamin B3. That in combination, vitamin E and selenium, all have great benefits to them as far as working with cholesterol levels and supporting, you know, healthy vessels within the body. So all of those together work quite well. And don't forget your fish oils and your healthy fats. They all make a difference too. So just digging in and putting all those together, you can notice a huge difference in cholesterol. Be careful doing all of that, though, with taking the medicine. That's why you want to talk with a doctor and kind of come up with one or the other. 888-283-7272. We'll be right back.
To find out more, connect with On Call Radio online at InShapeNetwork.com.
Lines are open, 888-283-7272. Welcome back to the show. This is your show. It's the show where your health is your greatest wealth. Now, teens and drinking and driving is always a big topic, but they're saying now that the number of U.S. teenagers who drink and drive has dropped more than half from 1991 to 2011, federal health officials said. Recently, 9 out of 10 of the high school students age 16 and over said they did not drink and drive in 2011. And according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, it represents a decline of 54% over 2 decades. So there's good news. Some of the data here, the CDC director says, he said there's been some major changes and shifts in drinking and driving with teenagers. And he says the young drivers are 17 times more likely to die in a crash when they have a blood alcohol concentration of 0.08 when they've not been drinking at all. So, good news. The kids have kind of dropped the alcohol at the wheel. Good stuff. All right, Joyce, you're next with us. How can I help?
I'm calling in regards to, I feel as though I might have had they just talking about TIAs, I feel as though I might have had one a while ago. I've been having a little trouble speaking at times, and the words aren't coming out right, and my legs have really got, very weak and everything lately. I've got some twitches in my face a few times. My arms, I think, have been okay, but I've tried to talk to the VA about it because I'm a veteran, and that's where I go for my medical care, and they don't seem to look at it or do anything. They say, well, it's just nothing to worry about it. And I do have diabetes. I take insulin, 65 units of Lantus a day, and 1,000 milligrams of metformin in the morning and the evening, and 10 milligrams of glipizide in the morning. My blood pressure is basically okay. My cholesterol is good, but I've been having trouble, like I said, walking lately, and I used to go even just a few months ago, but really slowed down, and all I am is completely tired and want to sleep anymore.
Yeah, a lot of times there could be several factors to that, just so you know. I mean, if you're a real type A personality and highly energetic and always on the go, and you've got these different health challenges, number one, it could be some of the medications that you're taking, and they could start taking, wearing and taking a little bit of toll on you. So that could be a possibility. Just keep that in mind. Another piece to this that is interesting that you might want to keep kind of an eye on is, just your overall daily habits. So your eating habits can make a big difference. Adrenal fatigue could be another one. So there's a lot of could-bes. But to raise your energy levels in dealing with this, support the adrenal glands, always a good idea. Cutting out the inflammatory foods, really important too. And the way to support the adrenals, for the most part, vitamin B5, also vitamin C. It's kind of an old school deal, but it really still works. Cordyceps, holy basil, they all work together too to help. They're called adaptogens, and they can help support the adrenal glands, which can be helpful. But again, when you're dealing with something like this and you're concerned, you've had a lot of different health challenges pop up in your life, you want to make sure you're balanced, and you want to make sure you get the right kind of foods in and the right kind of nutrients in. Blood testing is always good, and you might want to consider one of the nutritional genetic assessments that they're doing now. GeneMe is a great company to look at for that, but they actually do genetic testing to figure out what your specific nutritional needs might be and how to replace certain deficiencies. So great little tool to use along the way. Vitamin D, they're saying now, will not save you from the common cold. This is the latest study. The latest research on vitamin D supplementation, they're saying in a healthy adult population, the vitamin D will not prevent or reduce severity of common colds, said lead author David Murdoch, who's the head of pathology at the University of Otago in New Zealand. He said at present, no supplement has been shown to perfectly prevent colds. He said we need additional evidence from rigorous studies like ours before making claims about any nutritional supplement potential to ward off the colds. Now, research studies have been published recently in the Journal of the American Medical Association about this, that vitamin D helps keep the immune system functioning at a peak level. Several observational studies have shown or suggested that people with higher levels of vitamins, of course, have fewer colds, and colds are known as upper respiratory infections. But to test the association, Murdoch and his colleagues recruited more than about 300 healthy adults from New Zealand, and they all had normal vitamin D levels at the start of the study. Half the group was randomly assigned to receive oral vitamin D, while the other, of course, got the placebo. And those that had the vitamin D were significantly impacted. So it does make a difference. And vitamin D, of course, is that wonder nutrient that's just we've known about, but we've never really studied it. And, of course, we're studying it a lot more now. It's getting a lot more attention. The media and a lot of the university studies, and doctors are putting their patients on there and whatnot, and it's making a huge difference. So getting into a place where you can function at a peak level and get your immune system strong, eating the right kind of foods, lowering your stress levels, all can make a difference on the long end. So, it's all about lifestyle. It really is. It comes down to our choices every single day. And are you going to make good choices or bad ones? Because the body changes. And remember, the cells are turning over every single day, and you get a brand new body about every year. So what kind of choices are you going to make now to ensure that you have better health tomorrow? That's the question. So if it's diabetes or heart disease or arthritis, whatever it might be that you're struggling with, it's about coming up with the right game plan from that point on. That's what it comes down to. Now, they're saying poor sleep in teens are linked to heart risk in adulthood. Interesting. They're saying if you don't get very good sleep in your teen years, then you can have an increased risk of heart disease later in life. I don't think it's pretty hard for the teens to get a lot of sleep. Have you ever been around a teenager? Do you remember being a teenager and sleeping 12 hours a day? I mean, sleeping in, it's unbelievable. I don't even know how I did that. And I did that. But I don't know how I did it now. But they're saying that the sleep that you get as a teenager makes a major difference in the adulthood life. Don't forget that they always say you can't catch up on sleep. Once you lose it, you lose it. And so if you've been that adage of you'll just sleep when you're dead kind of deal, make sure you pace yourself, because your sleep you get does add to your overall vitality, your energy levels, and your longevity. We'll be right back. Hi, it's Asa. I'm giving you a copy of my best-selling book for free to help you in your health journey today. I'll pay for the book. All you do is just cover the small shipping and handling costs. Go to asarx.com and get your free book today.
To find out more, visit the show online, InShapeNetwork.com.
Lines are open, 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. Welcome back to the show. This is your show. It's a show where your health is your greatest wealth. Let's talk about it, your health and your life. Could sunlight lower your odds for pancreatic cancer? Pancreatic cancer, out of all the cancers that are out there, is the one that can be feared the most, only because it's so rapid and it can move very, very quickly. I've seen it take out several people, not just in my medical training, but in my close personal life as well. It's just tragic when it happens. Never easy, that's for sure. But adding to already conflicting data about sun exposure, vitamin D levels, and cancer risk, new Australian research suggests that experiencing high levels of ultraviolet light and having sun-sensitive skin and a history of skin cancer, each measurably lower than the risk for developing deadly pancreatic cancer. Now, U.S. cancer experts cautioned against making any lifestyle changes, including tanning or altering vitamin D intake. In response to the study, which is preliminary and does not prove these factors can prevent pancreatic cancer, compared to about 700 patients with pancreatic cancer in Australia, to roughly an equal number of people in the general population, scientists led by Rachel Neal from the Queensland Institute of Medical Research found that participants born in areas with the highest levels of ultraviolet radiation had a 24% lower risk for pancreatic cancer than those born in areas of low UV radiation. So those classified as having the most sun-sensitive skin had a 49% decreased risk of the malignancy compared to those with the least sun-sensitive skin, while participants with a history of skin cancer or other sun-related skin lesions had a 40% lower risk of pancreatic cancer. So in this study, the researchers matched different participants, based on their age and their sex and this sort of thing, and their demographics and socioeconomics and all of that. But at the end of the day, they said it's a big puzzle, but they found that it's amazing to them the benefits of vitamin D, how much we need, and what it can do over a lifetime as far as disease prevention. So I think it's really important to understand, it's one thing to say, well, I get a little bit in my multivitamin, or, well, my milk that I drink every day is fortified with vitamin D, yet we spend most of our days indoors and definitely not outside. And I think it's critical for our overall health to begin to understand that vitamin D levels are important. So kind of the bottom line is this. Sunlight exposure is important. If you work indoors, do what you can. Get outside for 30 minutes a day, an hour if you can, and just soak in the sunlight, be outside, breathe the fresh air, catch some vitamin D. Make sure you're getting plenty of vitamin D through your diet, because you're definitely not going to get enough in the sunlight. A little bit, you'll get some that can make a difference, but it's not going to be everything that you really need. And vitamin D plays a big role in having plenty of energy. I was talking to another doctor today. It was interesting, and we just were catching up on some things, and he said, we're talking about vitamin D, and we just thought it was interesting how for so long we all think, and there's still people today that think vitamin D is a vitamin, and it's not. It's actually a hormone. Vitamin D was classified as a vitamin years and years ago when they created all the names, and when they found out later it was a hormone, they just left it. But vitamin D is actually a hormone in the body. So if you have hormone issues, low energy levels, if you deal with any of those sorts of things, you got to remember, we always think estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, but if you take one step back and you look at it, you'll realize that vitamin D actually plays a role in those pathways, and it's important in bone density. It's important in elevating mood. I mean, it's got so many properties to it that we found through different research studies that is just unbelievable. I'm a huge fan. I take it every day. Don't miss. Now, you get it out of your fish oil if you take cod liver oil, but at the same time, I take a ton of it. I mean, literally. You get your blood test done about every 3 to 6 months, depending on what your doctor recommends. I usually get it every 6 months, usually good, unless you got something major going on, and you can see where your numbers are. And don't let anybody freak you out. It is fat soluble, and you can become toxic. But I had is a PhD, and he had done tons and tons of studies, and he told me that it doesn't even begin to become toxic till it gets in the low 300s. So even if it goes, I mean, the range in blood work is up to 100. You get into 125, those kind of levels. Once it gets toxic, what happens is it becomes toxic to the kidneys. So that is possible. But again, the numbers have to be really high. And if you're getting blood tests done every 6 months or so, and you keep the international units, which is what they're measured in, around usually, well, it depends. I mean, everybody goes conservative, and they say 1 to 3,000. I take 10,000 a day. And, it keeps my immune system extremely strong, and I feel great when I do that. And in my numbers still, they don't crack 100. So everyone's different. I'm a bigger guy, too. So everybody's different. Your dosage and all of that you need, it just depends. So always check with your doctor. Get your blood test done for vitamin D. It's simple, cheap, doesn't cost much, and the information is invaluable, in my opinion. 888-283-7272. That's the phone number. You can go online, getwellradio.com. Then also send me an email if you'd like. But our Wellness Provider Network is a group of healthcare providers growing around the country to be able to help you in your area. So these lifestyle nutrition-based providers that really get it, as I like to put it. And they understand all the things we teach. If you need help with that, go to getwellproviders.com. Let's go to Dallas. Hi, Dallas. Welcome to the show.
You sound good tonight. I listen to you most every night that I can, at least 2 or 3 hours.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you do. I hope we're able to help you out. What can I do tonight?
Well, I got blood clot in my left leg somewhere. And they won't tell me, they don't tell me, where it's at, but I know that it's in there because my left leg is deteriorating, and I can't walk on it very far. Not like I used to anyway. I mean, I still got the same problem with the knee, but that ain't got nothing to do with my walking. And I ordered some blood thinner, a blood cleaner, not thinner, cleaner. My blood pressure is fine every time I go, and I said, well, how can it be fine if I got clots in my leg that's stopping blood coming back?
And they said
well,
to you,
it's fine.
So did they do an ultrasound or a Doppler on your leg, and they said they couldn't find anything?
No, they didn't. They didn't do no ultrasound.
Did they measure your lower legs and compare both sides?
Well, they didn't have to measure it. All they had to do was look. I dropped my pants and showed them. You know, they didn't even ask me, but I showed them.
Okay.
They said, "Yeah, there's a big difference." I said, "Yeah, that's what I've been telling you, you idiot." Yeah, I mean, I hate to call him that, but I mean, you know, I hardly ever go to the doctor.
Well,
and I'm 70 years old, and being in a doctor for a real case, I can count them all on one hand.
Okay. So they didn't put you on any medication. They didn't put you on Coumadin or warfarin.
No, my regular doctor, she put me on vitamin D, said my D level was low.
Okay.
The last 2 times I've been there, it's been low, so I started taking a tablespoon of cod liver oil, plus I heard you talk about 50,000 units of something for your blood, and that's what she gave me.
Well, it's 50,000 units of vitamin D is standard of what most doctors are prescribing now per week.
Yeah, that's what she told me, but you prescribed it to this individual or something for 7 or 8 days on and 4 or 5 days off.
Yeah, I didn't prescribe anything. I just mentioned it. Can't do that. But, yeah, I know what you're saying. Here's the key. The key is if they didn't do any testing on you, okay, and I know that we all have intuition about what's going on inside of our bodies, but if they didn't do any testing on you to see if there's a blood clot going on, okay, and you really believe that there is, I would go to your doctor and I would push them. The testing that they do for that is relatively inexpensive. Doesn't cost a whole lot, and it's non-invasive, and it's a pretty simple test that they can run and check that. And again, if you don't have insurance or if it's a struggle for that, they can work around it, and they can work some different costs for you. It's not that expensive. But for your own peace of mind, I'm a big diagnostic testing fan just because it gives you great information, and you can go in there and really just kind of ask them, hey, can we do this? I just feel like in my gut there's something going on. And then you got to trust what they tell you and what the test results tell you too. So if it doesn't show anything, and the doctors, through their years of experience, tell you, and I'm telling you, it's a lot of years of experience. It takes a lot to do, what all of us do in their respective fields. So whatever they tell you, I would go with, and just take it. I know you like listening to me, and I appreciate that. I'm grateful for that. And but I'm telling you that for someone that can go get hands-on with you, they can do the test. They can see exactly what's going on in your body. That's invaluable. You can't do that on the radio. You can't do that over the internet or television. So that's going to be important. I would do that. So a little bit of wisdom from a younger tyke over here to yourself. I think that would be a good thing to do. Also, there's, of course, your eating habits and all that. You read my book, you'll learn a lot of that. You'll learn a lot of those tips, and that can be helpful. But it's going to be good to go find that out for your own peace of mind. Then you can come up with an action plan from there. Okay, thanks for being a great listener, and it's great chatting with you. 888-283-7272. Lines are open with questions about your health. Check us out online. Be glad to take your emails, make it part of the show. And also, if you've got somebody you care about, we can answer something for them as well. We'll be right back.
Connect with On Call Radio and watch On Call TV at InShapeNetwork.com.
The lines are open. 888-283-7272. Welcome back to the show. Vitamin B6 is a big, big topic, and I talk about it a lot. If you hear me talk about anything from peripheral neuropathy to brain chemistry issues like depression, bipolar, anxiety, just about every brain chemistry instability, people that are taking meds for brain stuff, they're low in vitamin B6. And so it's just one of those vitamins that when you get low on it, things go haywire in the body. Well, they found that chronic inflammation in the body is linked to low levels of vitamin B6. Now, of course, they say don't run out and buy the supplement just yet, but a new study shows a strong association between inflammation and the essential vitamin found in foods such as lean meats, legumes, and vegetables. Researchers found that people with the lowest levels of vitamin B6 in their blood had the highest levels of chronic inflammation, and that is true. I've seen that myself often, based on a wide variety of indicators. Now, those with the most vitamin B6 circulating in the bloodstream were also the least likely to have indicators of inflammation. Temporary inflammation such as redness and swelling after an injury is generally a sign that the immune system is actively fighting infection. But chronic inflammation is an emerging risk factor for a wide range of health problems, including heart disease, stroke, and type 2 diabetes. Well, in the study, which was published in the Journal of Nutrition, researchers compared blood levels of vitamin B6 in 13 different indicators of inflammation in about 3,000 adults. And although previous studies had linked low blood levels of vitamin B6 with various signs of inflammation, such as C-reactive protein, great blood test, by the way, researchers say this is the first large-scale study to look at the relationship between the vitamin B6 and a variety of inflammatory indicators. So the results showed that people with the highest overall inflammation score based on the 13 different indicators had the lowest levels of vitamin B6. The reverse was also true, though. Those who had the highest levels of B6 had the lowest amounts of inflammation. It's really interesting, actually. So from there, it's going to lead, they say, to new treatments and or dietary recommendations. My gosh, start making the recommendations. If you're a physician and you're listening, I'm not telling you how to do things. Please don't take this the wrong way. But really, really, more than just send them down the hall to the dietitian. I mean, look at some of these studies and implement them in your office, especially in family medicine. I know in specialties it's tough to do all that, but in family or internal, please start reading articles like this and implementing them. I know it can be tough in the hours of practice versus your re-education hours and all that is important, but these are so critical, I think, and just from a preventative standpoint can make such a big difference in your overall practice and with people's lives. And it's so interesting, and I know that, I mean, for me, it fascinates me, and I just think I see something like this, and if you've ever used this in practice at all, at any level, whatever your specialty is and whatever kind of doctor you are, or clinician, or any kind of nutritionist or whatever, when you see people's lives change based on foods that they eat or supplementation and symptoms begin to go away, it's incredible. So the research is out there, and it's coming more and more. And with the Journal of Nutrition, which I love reading myself, it's phenomenal. And it's exciting for me to see all of this stuff that we talk about. Europe does a lot of studies, but when we start doing these here in the States, it's great because things are moving into the forefront, and people's lives are going to get touched, and they're going to get changed from more of a natural perspective, which I think that we need to do as much as possible. 888-283-7272. Lines are open with questions about your health. We're going to Brian now. Hi, Brian. Welcome to the show.
Oh, Dr. Asa.
Good to talk with you, sir.
Just kind of give you a quick rundown. I've also, like your last caller, had blood clots in my legs. Mine traveled into my lungs. My last episode was in September when they diagnosed me with the blood clots, and I've been stabilized on warfarin or whatever, and been that way for now since then. One of the things I still am seeing is shortage of breath. What kind of things would you put or try and do to try and kind of rehabilitate and get more breathing ability, or what would you normally recommend?
Well, if you're taking the Coumadin or the warfarin?
Yeah. I don't know. They really haven't decided how long to be on there, but my gut reaction is at least a year, and then we might reassess it. But even still, carrying a fair amount of weight and trying to lose weight, but have not been real successful. but I still see that my breath and my breathing ability is limited to I can work a moderate level. Let's say like the old time when I'd shovel or pick, I just can't do it very hardly much. I get to the point I'm short of breath so bad. Is there something that you would normally recommend to try and rehabilitate a patient like that?
One of the biggest keys that I've seen and kind of some of the research that I've read and just, that's out there right now currently is to get your lifestyle factors really in check. Because when you're doing Coumadin and warfarin, again, it thins everything out. It can make you tired. It can make you fatigued. So staying on top of your blood work's important. Really making sure that you get plenty of green vegetables, dark green leafy vegetables, a lot, 3-4 servings a day. Red meat is also, believe it or not, really is chock full of the nutrients that are going to bring more oxygen into the red blood cells, which can make you feel better, decrease fatigue, and increase energy levels. And getting your blood work done, checking your hormones, is something you might want to do with your doctor, and also having them look at MMA, which is methylmalonic acid, and folic acid. Those can tend to get really, really low when you're in your kind of situation and can cause you to have the kind of fatigue that you're dealing with. Check into that. Keep me posted. You're listening to Healthy Talk Radio.
This show is designed to provide accurate information of a general nature on the subject matter covered, and given with the understanding that neither the host nor the station is engaged with rendering any form of medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. This information is not approved by the FDA and is not intended to diagnose, prevent, treat, or cure any disease.
To experience more of Asa Rx audio, visit us at asarx.com.
Hi, this is America's Lifestyle Coach. When it comes to digestive health, probiotics are the key. Why do employees, owners, and managers of health food stores